Hello, here is some more operations on a structure object. I have modified the structure student a little bit. I have introduced these three variables here in order to store the marks for physics, chemistry and mathematics. And then what we need is to write a function that's going to calculate the grade for a particular student. And we again for that need a function that's going to calculate the average marks, because the grade is going to be calculated on the basis of average marks. I have already written the input student operation. As you can see it here, it's the same with the previous one except for the last few lines where I have changed in order to accept the marks for physics, chemistry and mathematics. And then this get average marks, it's going to receive the student object and it's going to calculate the average mark and going to return back the average marks. So here we have this sum variable declared, and the sum is actually adding the values for physics, chemistry and mathematics for this particular student, and we are then just dividing it by 3 because there are 3 subjects and we are getting the average and returning back to the caller. So this function is returning the average of marks for this particular student that we are passing here. And now from the get grade, this particular function is going to receive the student for which the grade has to be calculated. So it's ultimately going to return the grade. If the average is greater than equals to 90, then the grade should be A, and if it is between 80 and 89, it should be B, and so on. It's as usual. And again we have written this print student function with a pretty format. I will be explaining this soon, but first of all what we need is to write the get grade function. So first of all here what we need is to call the average function to get the average marks. So get average, I'm calling the get average marks function and passing on the student object in order to get the average for this student. And here this average marks is going to calculate the average for this student that it is receiving here and will return it back to here. So now we need to check this by writing if else if the average marks is greater than 90, then obviously the grade is A, else if it is greater than equals to 80 and it is less than 90, then the grade is B. I can just go on and copy this. Okay, so if it is greater than equals to 70 and less than 80, then it is C. If it is greater than equals to 60 and less than 70, then it is D. Between 50 and 59, I'm sorry, it should be 60. That's less than equals to 60 means equals to 59. Okay, that should be E. And otherwise only one option is left. If it is less than 50, then it should be F. So we have calculated the grade and we have applied the business logic for calculating the grade here. So this is what we call the business logic. Structure object is holding the data and we are applying the business logic by writing the functions. So this get grade is a behavior that is applicable on the student object, and that's we are writing by just developing a function and we are putting in the business logic there how to calculate the grade. So it's going to calculate the grade and return back the grade to the caller. And then here in the print student format, you can see that I'm receiving the student for which the printing should be done, and I'm doing it in a pretty good format. Okay, so I'm printing a heading and then a line comes and then each of these attributes are printed: role name, marks in physics, chemistry and maths. And at the end what we are doing, we are just printing the grade. I'm here calling the get grade function and passing the student object for which the grade has to be calculated, and the get grade is calculating the grade by calling the average function. It's getting the average from there and then calculating the grade and returning it back here, and here the printf is printing the grade to the console. In the main operation I'm just declaring a student object for testing, and here I'm calling the input student and print student accordingly. So let's go ahead and run this. Roll number 1 and then comes name. I'm giving Arnold, marks in physics 90, 94, 78. Oh, there is a mistake. It's a side effect of copy paste. It should have been mathematics at the end. Okay, you can guess that. So here you can see that it's printed correctly in a pretty format, and lastly it printed the grade as well. So you can see there is mathematics. It was a printing mistake, typing mistake, I'm sorry. So I should change it here. It should be mathematics or simply math. That works. Now we have understood how we can write operations by writing functions on structure objects. We'll go on with this in the next tutorial as well. Thank you.